Okay, so just before the break, we talked about the risk of smoking. You want to know what else we all do every day, probably several times a day, that's being referred to as the new smoking? Sitting. According to an article in Forbes magazine, chair-oriented sedentary lifestyle is taking huge tolls on both our health and our economic productivity. And it's probably even truer for the desk-bound office worker or exec than the couch surfer, due to the nonstop hours at our computers.
Yeah, now experts estimate that between our time in our cars, couches, and desks, we spend about half our lives sitting, and that time does not include the time we are sleeping. Add to that the fact that the World Health Organization has identified physical inactivity as the fourth biggest killer on the planet. And get this, it falls ahead of obesity. Other health risks include back and neck problems, cancer, heart disease, diabetes, and more.
As a matter of fact, some say sitting is just as bad as drinking soda, adding that sitting 8 hours a day or more increases your risk of type 2 diabetes by 90%. Did you see that? One simple act with the potential to prevent type 2 diabetes, heart disease, and cancer. This is a standing desk, and it's just one way Pennington Biomedical works to practice what it preaches.
We spend a third of our lives at work, and 80% of that time, about 80% of that time is sedentary activity. So we just try and get people moving.
So I've been training a little bit.
Stephanie H.E. is head of employee wellness. Walking the campus is her favorite way to keep moving.
I try to at least every hour of working, I'll take a 5 to 10 minute break. So I'll stretch or I'll walk around, take the stairs.
New research shows sitting too much can lead to serious health problems, even if you get regular exercise.
It's difficult to be that active and then counter the 8 to 10 hours in which you're being sedentary and in which your body really is not using the active muscles of the body.
It's not hard to not be sedentary. It just means adjusting your routine. You can try walking to meetings. Instead of booking conference rooms, walk the halls of your office building or go outside. If you must be in a conference room, take away the chairs. You also don't have to take phone calls sitting down. Simply standing will burn calories and provide benefit. Dr. Newton says sitting is a recent phenomenon brought on by industrialization.
Previous to this, people were moving around all the time, and sitting wasn't as frequent as what it is today, as prevalent as what it is today.
If you do stay sitting, try a timer that reminds you to get up at least once an hour. Subtle movements like neck rolls and hamstring stretches won't replace daily exercise, but they'll help promote blood flow, joint health, and stronger muscles. Standing up and twisting, or even standing on one leg, will help too. Developing a healthy posture will strengthen your core muscles, which means less neck, shoulder, and back discomfort, and better breathing.
So, Jimmy, knowing all of that, doesn't it make sense to start the habit of standing younger? Say maybe in a classroom?
A lot of people say we should stand up for education, but at one elementary school, they're actually doing it.
To me, this is the wave of the future.
In 4 of the school's classrooms, the chairs have been removed and students spend the day standing at their desks. Some parents concerned about how sedentary kids have become donated the money for the new desks.
That just seems weird.
That's what a lot of kids thought when it first started, and it took a few weeks for legs to stop being sore. But then something really weird started happening. The kids began to like it.
You can get your bones stretched out and you don't limp to get it stretched in together again.
To me, it's really fun and it makes me more focused.
It turns out all that energy the kids have out at recess doesn't just evaporate when they go back to class. Instead of tiring students out, the new desks allow them to let off a little steam. In fact, they come equipped with a swinging foot stand, aptly called a fidget bar.
It allows for those students to really kind of wiggle, but their mind and their focus is still on me.
Do you think it's made you a better student?
I'm not sure about that part.
But the teachers are. They say the kids are calmer and more attentive, and parents say they're sleeping better at night. What seemed like a strange idea is having a real benefit.
You can roll your eyes all you want, but you need to come and see it.
There are stools available if someone gets tired, but mostly they stand. It seems going to school isn't something they're going to take sitting down.
It really does sound like a win-win. I'd love to have a stand-up desk.
I think we all agreed in the studio we'd all like to have a fidget bar. It works out
In the
well that
studio.
way. We have a few more stories of inspiration in the classroom today. Coming up next, the story of one woman who has decided to turn her challenges into a lesson for others. She's legally blind and hopes to help kids who are blind lead a perfectly normal life. Her message is coming up next.
Well, oftentimes when teaching a lesson to a group of kids or young adults, the only way you can get through is to relate to them on a deeper level. We also hear the story of one young teacher who found some common ground with her students in an unusual place. DelmarvaLife, we'll be right back.